Welcome, Leo Ascendant, Leo Rising. This is your March 2020 end of the month video with G. Right now, we're going to talk about the new moon in Aries, which is all about setting your intentions and your wishes. I'm loving this new moon, folks, because it's Aries Energy, which is the beginning of the beginning. We also at this time have some super sweet grand earth trines that are very, very possible in a lot of folks' chart. We also have another sweet supportive trine coming from the Uranus in Taurus, assisting. We also at this time are going to have a culmination of what we're letting go, what we're leaving behind, and where we are moving forward to. So let's dive deep into all astrology. We're going to first off give dates and degrees. The first degree I'm going to give out is 4 degrees. Remember this number. Okay, 4 degrees. By the way, if you're new, if you don't have your own chart, if you don't understand anything I'm about to say or anything you might have already heard within the first minute of this video, comment your birth digits below. When you go ahead and do that, I can get a chart to you. I can help you understand, because when I give out dates and degrees, folks who are listening, they're looking at their own chart and they're like, oh, this is happening right here in my place in my life. Because when degrees are given out, you can understand for your birth date and time where in your life exactly this stuff occurs. This is a general reading, all right? General, which means if you want the real deal, go down to the nitty gritty, okay? Give me your birth digits and we will hook you up. 4 degrees, Uranus and Taurus. 4 degrees, Aries. This is where Chiron is also going to be. This is also the location of the new moon. At the same time, we are going to have the earth energies. Mars at 2352, Jupiter in Capricorn at 2302. We have Pluto in Capricorn at 2442. We also have Saturn at 2959. Now, I just mumbled off a whole bunch of dates, a whole bunch of planets, and now I am going to make sense out of all of this in your day-to-day life, okay? So here we go. What happens with a new moon? A new moon is a beginning. It is a point of planting a seed. When we put a seed in the ground, it is dark, there is no light, it's buried in the dirt. The new moon is a time of darkness. It's when we can't see the moon. It is a time where if you were to look in the old school farmer almanac, that is when they tell farmers to plant their seeds. And there's a reason, because in darkness comes growth. In darkness, there is magic. In darkness is where there is the ultimate metaphysical energy. And this is all this is. Think about this. Farmers, old school farmers, were metaphysicians. They understood the planetary energies. They understood to plant according to the cycles of the moon. They understood you want to plant when the moon is building, when it's waxing, not when it's waning and fading away, but it's in its building mode. Because when you plant something in the ground, well, you want it to grow. You want it to build. It's the same with the new moon intention. It is putting a seed in the ground. So that means write stuff down. That means speaking stuff into the universe. For this new moon in particular, because it is in Aries at 4 degrees, it is getting support from the 4 degree Uranus and Taurus, okay, which means it can ground the intention. All right, Taurus energy is all about the earth. Taurus energy is all about my desires and my wants. And when you have wants and desires attached to an intention, along with emotion is energy, you're going to get it. It's going to happen. Because at that moment, don't get me wrong, a metaphysician is not someone, it is not what we think when we say the word magician, where I snap my fingers and instantly this bunny pops up out of my hand. It's knowing how to work with the energetic cycles instead of swimming against the tide, right? Instead of trying to go against the flow, wearing myself out and exhausting and then dying and drowning. It is understanding, okay, here comes the wave. Just like the surfers do. It's the same thing. You ever surfed? You ever been on a surfboard? You wait until the wave's coming. Not exactly at the same moment that it hits you, of course, but there's a sense of timing. You see the wave coming, and then you have to get up out of the water onto the board and get yourself balanced and poised and ready to ride the wave of energy to the shore. Ride the wave of energy towards your goal. And that is what this is. That is why astrologers love astrology. It's understanding these cycles. So we're going to now understand that when you have Uranus at 4 degrees in Earth sending a supportive beam of energy to your wish, right? There's no reason it can't come true. What happens is that every day after that, you start making choices that support that desire, that support that wish. And it starts here in your thoughts. It is no coincidence that this 4-degree new moon in Aries represents our physical body, also represents our thinking, people. Think about this. The Aryan energy, Aries is young, right? It's the baby of the zodiac. But over time, when it's a baby, it uses its head, it uses its physical head. It's the ram. It charges forward like this. But once it's developed and once it ages and gets to be like that fine wine, it understands there's a different way to use the head. It doesn't mean to physically use my head. It means to use my head, my thinking capabilities. And so this is that. This is maybe you have to reprogram and go through some mind training, for yourself, doing it by yourself. And mind training meaning you program your mind. You train your mind to be optimistic, to be positive, and to focus on that which you want, and to daily write that down. So let's find out where 4 degrees where this new moon happens for you. This is Leo ascendant, Leo rising. I just went to a whole nother place altogether at that time. So let me get my wits about me and go to the other side of my brain. I love this. I'm just realizing right now. 4 degrees Aries is in your 9th house. 9th house represents what you believe, your opinions. So your new moon is going to have to do with a new belief, a new opinion, okay? A new opinion about yourself, a new belief about who you are. It's about your individuality. It's being supported by Uranus, which is all about, Uranus is hang out your freak flag and let it go, right? Just stand it up tall, get it up there and let people see it. Now, don't go too far with that. All that means is it is about your individuality. Bottom line. Each of us are beautiful. We are all humans. We all cut when we bleed. We all, there are so many things that we have in common. At the same time, there are beautiful specific degrees about ourselves that make us the individuals that we are. And it is those differences that you are to embrace in yourself. Once you can do that, you then embrace the differences of others. So the new moon for you is on 24th. And I would really think that it would be so beneficial if you would go ahead and embrace this new belief about yourself, these new degrees of your being. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, maybe it's in a different location in your chart, depending upon your birth time. It could be in the 8th house or it could be in the 10th house. You got to comment though. I can't tell you that without having your birth time, date, and place. So all you got to do is put those digits in, and I'll help you to figure that out, and then we'll square this out and get you all good to go on what your new moon intention is and where you're working with the energy, where you are learning to be a metaphysician. The degrees I gave earlier for all that stuff happening, the grand Earth trine stuff, folks, think about this. When I say the word sextile, that means ease, right? Uranus is sending a nice sense of ease, a supportive beam to the new moon. At the same time, those latter degrees of the earth signs, right? If you have planets at 21, 22, 23, 24 degrees in Taurus or in Virgo, because we have this megastellium in Capricorn at 21, 22, 23, 24 degrees, you have a grand earth trine. Whether you have them natally or not, well, yeah, you're going to have something there natally, right, in your birth chart in Taurus or Virgo. Now, do you have to have all three? No, because then it's just considered a trine, all right? A grand earth trine is when we've got all three happening, but it's still an ease, a benefit coming to you, and you're going to want to know where. Where are you going to get this in your life? Just like you want to know where things not going to be so simple. So your ease is going to be coming in likely. If you have all three, you have your earth energies in your second house, which is your income, How you make your money? You have it in your 6th house. Again, the house of work, the house of job, the house of duty, the house of projects. Okay, the house of, when we say projects, some people, they always love to have something to do, whether it's a crafty art project or whether it's just they're a fixer-upper kind of stuff around the house, but projects, and this could be work projects as well, right? You're that type of person that loves the boss to hand, like a to-do list, and you would actually prefer to just sit there and go, bam, knock that list out by yourself sometimes. That's your 6th house. And you also have your earth energy in your 10th house. Your 10th house is your highest ambition, your goals, and your career. So for Leo Ascendant, Leo Rising, I am really loving this. And I would love to get my hands on your chart and to see, do you have degrees, matching degrees of these ladder degrees? Because if you have a grand earth trine, I want to hear about it. I want to rejoice in it with you. That's the thing I love about looking at someone's chart. It's like, oh my God, this is wonderful news. Because typically, I'm going to be honest, when people submit their stuff, it's only because shit's going not good in their life. Like they're struggling and they're like, is there some light coming sometime soon? And so it can be daunting, it can get overwhelming, and it can feel very heavy at times. So when I say a win for you is a win for me, is a win for all of us, I mean it. I am ultimately very sincere about that. Now that's where you're going to be getting ease, okay? There is some tense and stress that occurs. And this is because we have the North Node and the South Node square in Chiron in Aries at 4 degrees. Yes, Chiron is in Aries at 4 degrees, the same degrees of the new moon. The whole point of this is that it's going to test you. It's testing the self. It's testing what you believe. It is testing your opinion. When this testing happens, this happens literally just days leading up to the new moon. So therefore, when that comes around, when the 24th, 25th comes around, hopefully, right, if you're really here to do work, you're then analyzing what happened. You're paying attention to your opinions, your own beliefs, and you are then questioning them yourself. And you're saying, maybe that belief I had about that particular thing isn't really my belief anymore. Maybe it doesn't really line up with who I am any longer. And see, that is the thing about beliefs. People tend to hold on to them. And I'm part of this too. It's not about you or them. It's about we tend to hold on to things because, well, it's what we associate strongly with our beliefs. It makes up who we are. And so if somebody else challenges it, it's literally a challenge to us personally. This time, we're all being asked to analyze degrees of ourself, whether it be our belief about our body, right? Because it's Aries in your 9th house. And this is what it is. It's the belief about your body. It's about your opinions about your body. It's about the way you view yourself, your philosophy on that with yourself. Because that belief that you hold within you is also the belief that you hold others accountable to. So like if they somehow clash with it, then there's this belief that they don't line up with you, right? And that makes sense. But the tendency with Aries energy is that it's so young and it takes a long time to develop and mature that we have to realize that wherever Aries is in our chart, we're a little kid there. And we need to really look at what those beliefs are because it's in the 9th house. And we need to say, okay, are some of my beliefs outdated? They could be, all right? So that's what you're doing at this time. And if you find out that you've got some outdated beliefs, that you no longer believe what you used to believe because you've grown, you've matured, right? You've evolved. This is that time when you're setting this new moon intention, and it is all about setting an intention to have beliefs that you can, that sit right with you, all right? And that sit right with you in a way where they're good for you too, right? Just not good for everybody else and everyone around you, because that is important, but you have to be included in that, all right? So let me take a look, Leo Ascendant, Leo Rising, and let me see the stress and tension that you're going to be receiving, the people, the folks, the areas of your life that are going to be sending some things your way is going to be in areas of your job, because that's where you have your Capricorn energy. So this is work. This is also areas of your health, right? Now, this is interesting because if you've got the Aries, your body, in your 9th house, your beliefs, right? So your beliefs about your body are somehow squaring your health or vice versa. Your health is somehow not lining up with your beliefs, meaning there's this thing you've been doing and you have ill health. And so it doesn't jive. right? They don't jive anymore. They just don't make sense. So something needs to change, right? And it could also be what you do for a living. What you do for a living may not support what's in the best interest for your physical body, or vice versa. Again, your belief, you may have a conflicting belief that causes stress at work. So you got to kind of look at that, and you got to kind of be honest and real and be willing to consciously analyze, because this is about growth. This is about moving forward. This isn't just about the material, tangible realm, folks. This is also about our soul's growth. And as a soul, you live in the physical body, and your responsibility, believe it or not, is to live this realm on the spiritual, metaphysical realm simultaneously while operating in the 3D realm. And that is difficult to do. It is a really difficult balancing act. You need to become the ultimate juggler. And this is the universe's way of saying, this is that. You need to reprioritize, okay? Now, this may happen with folks that you're encountering with, okay? It could be people who challenge your beliefs, and it can also be people who at the job just give you absolute stress. So you need to figure out what's good for you, all right? And so the intention with the new moon is then, once you figure that out, that's what you're wishing for. That is what you're going to just either write down or speak into the universe. The other location where you might find stress coming from is kind of a mystery, because it's coming from your 12th house. And it's the Cancer energy, which means it is stuff from childhood. It has to do with family. It has to do with past lives. So there might be things that come up, emotions that come up, that somehow cause stress. And only you could speak to the details of that. If you need for me to go deeper, like I said, as always, comment your digits below and I will help you out. So the new moon is on the 24th of March. Set your intentions on the later of the day of the 24th or early hours of the 25th of March, because that is the time when that moon is more settled and we're not still very bothered and hot by all the challenges we had earlier that were touching in on our Chiron, okay? We want to have a clear headspace when we make an intention, because this is a powerful time. New moons are a time of creation. So Leo Ascendant, Leo Rising, if you have any questions, just comment your stuff below and I will help you out. I hope this has put some light upon your path. Bye.